Boxing King Media in association with Boxer Ben Shalom. Here in Manchester, another big show at the Manchester Arena. Let's get straight into it. Tasha Jonas, you promised her the world. Would I be right in saying that? And have you delivered?
Yeah, I think for the fighters that took that first risk with us, we felt like we had to deliver. Whether that was Savannah, Richard Riakporhe, I think Tasha Jonas, really early on, when really no one knew what to expect. So yeah, always needed to deliver for Tasha, needed a world title, got that. But the way things have gone since then, the way she's performing, I think because she's active, because she's happy, she's performing unbelievably. And to be sat here now at the end of the year for a third world title, don't make me mistake, this is the toughest one. This is someone that we would have never taken in the first fight. We took it now because we've seen Tasha Jonas perform at that weight. She's ready for this. It's a southpaw, it's robust, it's difficult because Marie's only lost to Clarissa Shields. You've seen how much she's been smiling as well. It's a tough fight, but it's a big risk and it's one worth taking.
Definitely. I spoke to Spencer earlier and he made a good point. Tasha could have been one of those fighters that was so good and she may have missed out on a world title, but you made sure that wasn't going to happen.
100%. I honestly thought she was like the most unlucky fighter with what happened. It was a close fight with Katie Taylor, then what happened with Terry Harper. But the fact that she took time out of the ring, became a mother, was never really pushed forward, but such a talented fighter, honestly unbelievable, and we're seeing that now in a weight division that's not her own. So yeah, it's good that she's getting what she deserves. She's achieved so much in the sport, she's done so much for the sport, and now she's headlining, now she's a big name, and now she can look forward to the big fights.
And talking of big fights, I don't want to look too far past this, but the big fight, I think as a fan myself, it's got to be the Terry Harper rematch for the Undisputed. Has talks been going on? Have you mentioned it to Eddie Hearn or his team?
Not really. I think Tasha and Joe felt hard done to last time. I think they feel like they are beyond that in a way. They're hopefully going to fight for their third world title. For her, Tasha's at the stage of her career where she wants, as crazy as it sounds, she wants the Clarissa Shields. She wants Jessica McCaskill at 147 because she's still got all the belts. She wants the Katie Taylor fight. I can only go off what Joe and Tasha want. That's what I'll deliver, and I'm not sure the Terry Harper fight is one that she is like top of her list. She really wants that. She's probably got 2 or 3 fights maximum left in her career, and she wants the biggest name she can possibly get.
And then moving on, Dalton Smith, obviously you've gone in hard because no doubt he's one of Matchroom's prize assets and you've outbid them. Massive statement again?
I think so. I think, to be honest, Casey Benjamin wanted that fight. He was pressing us for that fight for a long time, and when it went to purse bid, we knew, right, now's the opportunity. Let's make sure we get it. Dalton Smith is an unbelievable talent. I've said it before. Every promoter would dream of having him because he's got potential, but I think he needs to grow. He needs to start selling out arenas. We've seen a little bit of it in Sheffield, and he's got that fan base. But there's obviously a lot of potential there. Let's see on Saturday night, because this is his toughest test to date, and Casey's coming in very confident. But obviously delighted to have him, and we'll see what happens after.
Definitely. I feel like you kind of closed off the second question. Let's see what happens afterwards. But obviously if Dalton does win, which is what he's obviously a big favourite with the bookies, and the obvious expectation is, and speaking from Adam Smith last week as well, you guys are going to make an effort to see if you can bring him to Boxer. You've got a few Sheffield fighters already. Yeah,
I think Sheffield's a great place to do fights, and obviously reminds me of sort of the Kell Brook early days, in the sense that we've just signed Adam Azim. We think he's going to be a future superstar. That division is very, very competitive, obviously on the world scene, but even in the UK with Taylor and Cattrall to come, and Adam Azim and Dalton Smith, they could be rivals for a long time. So Dalton Smith will make the decision that's best for his career. I think everyone will be interested in him, but at the moment he's a matchroom fighter. We do respect that. We're just looking forward to having a great British title fight on our card on Saturday night.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to that. And moving on to the fight of the night, I think this will probably catch fire. Tyler Denny, Brad Ray, brilliant fight.
Yeah, brilliant fight. Tyler Denny only knows one way. Brad Ray is an exciting fight. We've seen him in exciting fights ever since we signed him. Jess Smith, the one that sticks out in my mind as his debut with us on October last year. Developed really well. Really good following in Manchester. Trains a lot with Ricky Hatton. Believes he can go right to the top, and he wanted the English title, and it didn't matter who had it. Luckily for us, Tyler Denny had it, and it means there's a big fight in store, and he's done everything he can to get it in front of his home crowd. But it's a tough ask. And Tyler is a dangerous fighter, and he's coming here thinking he'll win as well.
Yeah, Tyler, I don't know if you know, he's been sparring River Wilson-Bent, who he had a big rivalry with in his previous 2 fights.
Yeah, I know. I remember the first one. It was almost chaos, wasn't it? After the decision and things like that. And obviously we did the rematch. Great fight. 2 good guys, and fair play to Tyler coming out of his hometown, coming to Manchester on a night like this to fight Brad Ray. He's obviously confident.
Yeah, and like I said, Tyler, they're both best buddies now. Big guy Fraser Clark back in action. I asked Spencer this question as well. Obviously, me and you will understand because we know the sport. But to a casual boxing fan, explain why an elite amateur Olympic bronze medalist is going to be challenged for the first time against a guy that's had 26 losses. I know the answer, but I want you to tell the fans.
Kamil Sokolowski is one of those guys that usually gets fights on 1 or 2 weeks' notice and always gives a good account of himself. We try to give him 8 weeks. We want tough fights for Fraser. Ultimately, I've never seen so much scrutiny in his 4th fight, but this is a tough test. I really believe that. Obviously, Fraser's another level. I believe he'll come through, but these are the fights that he needs. He needs competitive fights on the big stage. Kamil Sokolowski is coming ready with 8 weeks behind him, and he'll be looking to cause an upset, but ultimately, Fraser Clark taking on Kamil at a forced fight should be respected, especially with what's happened in his previous fights with late opponents and things, and it's not gone to plan. He just wanted to step up, and he's got it.
He sure has. There's a couple of other subjects I want to speak to you about, Ben. I spoke to Eddie a few weeks ago and I suggested, obviously, the Zone have suffered big time with 3 pay-per-views they've missed out on this year, and that's going to affect the UK subscribers, but he suggested because of KSI, they're doing really well. So do you have any regrets of not maybe jumping into that market? Because if KSI is keeping the Zone afloat with the UK subscriptions, that must be big numbers.
Yeah, I think Sky's not struggling for subscriptions, is it? We're focused on professional boxing. I don't mind it, but that's our focus. We want to develop the sport. We're really passionate about the sport. Sky want to develop sport. We want elite professional boxing on the channel, and that's not knocking at. We know the numbers it does online and things like that, but yeah, I'm a licensed promoter in the UK. I'm very passionate about boxing, doing those numbers and being able to attract the biggest audiences, and that's our focus. Obviously, nice to hear that it's helping the Zone, but for us and for Sky, look, the odd pay-per-view, you've seen Sky do it with KSI, Logan Paul, and I think that's those marquee events, they're always going to sell, and broadcasters are always going to be interested. But for us, we want to focus on professional sport, and that's it.
And if ever got put to you Logan Paul versus Andrew Tate, and potentially that could break any box office records, you would never be interested in that?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the regular shows we put on, we're focused day in, day out on professional boxing. Sky will look at anything on a one-off basis. I think what's going on over there, it's not one-off, is it? It's regular stuff. We're focused on this sport, and yeah, I think Sky, they're committed to this sport.
Last question, Ben. True Geordie's made the news for boxing fans have kind of praised him early in the week, and now he's completely turned into it's kind of ruined his entire career. You know, your views and opinions on what he's done with regards to the Fury interview and his comments about Andrew Tate.
I don't mind people asking difficult questions in boxing. I think what him and Andrew Tate, it's got nothing to do with boxing, so no comment on that.
Fair point, Ben. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Cheers.